Greetings, everyone. I want to welcome you to Village Connector Media. We are currently producing this presentation for you in Studio A, our television studio, and we're going to be getting started in just a minute here. But as we start allowing people to get online here and join us, I want to encourage you to get comfortable and to get ready to get some very important information. Our purpose today is to help educate personal development professionals, whether you be a speaker, a coach, a trainer, or some other type of educator, an author, how you can take a glimpse into the future of this industry. So I think we're just about ready to get started. Let's see if oh, there we go. All right, so welcome to Village Connector TV. This is our studio, by the way, if you were wondering where I am today. And we decided to produce from the studio because part of what we're going to be talking with you about is how technology is creating greater opportunity for you to take your message to the masses. So let's start off, get started right away. I want to share some information with you. This presentation is going to be about how you can turn your content into cash. Very simple concept. And if you're not already doing this, you should be looking to do this. When we talk about content, of course, we're talking about the world of online courses. Because right now, for the most part, you as a public speaker are probably limiting yourself just to speaking engagements. Well, I can tell you right now that if that's where you are currently, you really need to pay attention. And if you do pay attention, you're going to find that there's a real opportunity for you to expand the income streams that come from what it is that you know. And that's our goal here at Village Connector Education, is to help you understand all the different ways that you have available to you to expand your income streams, but in the process of doing so, expand the ways that you can be of service to others. We all know that income is a function of being of service to others, so the more people you serve, the more income you make. Now, with that in mind, we're all familiar with what it feels like to be speaking to empty rooms, to be booking time at hotels, hoping people will show up, to be giving our time away for free and not necessarily feeling like we're being paid what we're worth at the end of the day. Well, our goal here is to help you to develop a philosophy and an approach and some strategies that change that for you. Now, if you're paying attention, as I said, to what's going on around you, you know that the big names in the industry, people like Anthony Robbins, Les Brown, other big names, some of whom we've lost, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, all the big names in the industry, they understood a few simple things. They understood how to become household names, but they did that through content. And a lot of the content that they used was things that they gave away for free. Now, I know that that has a tendency to scare you and turn your stomach about giving away things for free, but I'm going to show you a process by which it has been utilized effectively and efficiently to create empires. So let's talk a little bit about that. There is a distinct formula associated with making it possible for you to reach more people and to sell more of your products and services. The big people, the big names in the industry, they all know how to do this. And the only reason that you're not benefiting from it currently is because you're not doing it. So we want to make sure that you don't miss the opportunity, because there's nothing special about a lot of the bigger name speakers right now, except that they've developed systems that allow them to reach more people in a compelling way and convert those people into paying clients. Now, with that in mind, I'd like to tell you briefly what that system is for them, because it's a really simple process. Each one of these people that are being successful with marketing on the internet are delivering value on the front end. Value in the form of free introductory content. And we're going to talk in greater detail about what that content looks like. But the key is that they're giving people an opportunity to experience what they know at no risk. They're giving them the opportunity to experience their philosophies and their principles and their strategies without having to get into their pocket on the front end. The next thing that does for them is it starts to build credibility. When someone gets a chance to see what it is that you would be doing, the path that you would take them down, that builds credibility if they like what they see. It also avoids buyer's remorse, and it also gives people some enthusiasm for getting behind you. Credibility done consistently leads to trust, and that's why being consistent in offering opportunities for people to get to know you and experience what you know is so important. It's easy to do, as long as we define easy as something you're capable of doing without extraordinary effort. But you've got to make sure you understand this first and then take the action to implement this type of system. Now, if you are delivering value and building credibility and doing that consistently, it's going to translate into trust, and trust over time translates into influence. When you have influence with someone, that's when the cash begins to flow. Now, here's the good news from your perspective. It doesn't have to take years for that to happen. It's just a function of being able to take people through a step-by-step progression where you're introducing them to what you do and how you do it and how they can benefit in a way that logically results in their wanting to do business with you. So again, that could be it could be a function of days, months, or even years. I've had people on my mailing list that have literally come back to me 2 or 3 years later and signed up for one of my big courses where if I didn't have this process in place, they wouldn't even remember me from the time they initially met me. So don't assume that everyone's going to be in the market immediately. That's why it's important to have a system that continues to build credibility, trust, and influence all the way through the process. Now, the good news from your perspective is that this is something that you can do. It's very simple to do. And we're going to walk you through some of the things that you can do. So the speaker's path to profit starts with developing content. You want to have content that you can make available to people free of charge. Now think about this. You spend a lot of money on marketing. You buy hotel rooms, you send out and buy flyers, and you distribute, and you buy ads online. You do all kinds of things to bring people to your events. Why not make it possible for them to experience what you do in the form of actual content? Today, it's never been simpler for you to create content online. Free ebooks, free videos, infographics, special reports or free reports, email courses. We work with our clients, for example, to put together a series of 12 to 15 emails that provide valuable content that by the end of that process has someone wanting to see your paid stuff because the free stuff was so good. Free downloads. It's so simple and easy today to record audio, video, all kinds of things that people can download and experience what it would be like to work with you in one of your paid programs. So that's the beginning process for you. Now, it's not that you have to create all of this at the same time. You could get started with something as simple as just a free ebook or just the first chapter out of one of your books or just the first audio lesson from one of your lectures. It doesn't matter. But ultimately, you want to be able to build a content library that gives you maximum flexibility in how you can impact people who are thinking about buying some of your paid services. Now, the second part of the speaker's path to profit is also very simple. You want to gather contact information in exchange for all of this free stuff that you're giving away. When you gather their contact information, it allows you to increase the frequency of contact that you have with them, and that's where you begin to establish credibility, because if you've got their contact information and they're in your email list, you now have the ability to deliver tidbits of wisdom and little pieces of useful information to them consistently. When someone signs up to get on your mailing list, you're also able to filter out who is truly interested and who's just curious, because most people will not put the names on a list to then get information that they're not interested in. So right off the bat, by simply having a system that allows you to filter, you're already qualifying what essentially amounts to leads. And then of course, if you put a system in place, the technology allows you to automate lead generation, so it's not about your time, it's about how much planning you put in. And then of course you have the ability to create viral exposure, because as you build your mailing list, you can invite people who are your customers, your clients, your students to share that information with other people. And of course, that is what really makes the horsepower, makes this whole process powerful, is the horsepower behind having an automated system, a predictable response from doing a few things consistently. That's all a system is a repeatable process that yields predictable results. You right now may be in need of a repeatable process. And we're showing you, revealing to you right now what that can look like, and then we're going to show you how quickly that can be in place for you. Now, the third element of the path to profit for speakers is also very simple. You've given away free information. You've developed relationships with people by exposing them to your philosophies and your principles. You've created credibility, trust, and influence with them. Now their minds are open to seeing your paid content. So now you've got paid books and ebooks, paid video series, webinars, workshops, courses, one-to-one consulting, other paid products. And you have the ability to deliver most of that in a digital format that's not dependent on your time. You see, that's the other thing. As a public speaker, you're only as good as your next speaking engagement. As a coach or trainer, you're only as good as the one-to-one time that you spend with a client. What we want to do is to open and expand your mind to the idea that maybe you don't need to be present to deliver value every time someone wants to know what you know. And so keep in mind that I'm not suggesting that you would abandon public speaking. If you love speaking, I think you should continue to do that. I'm simply saying don't be completely dependent on that as your source of income. So that's the simple three-step process. And if you look at all the big names out here, they all do this consistently. Many of them have spent tens of thousands of dollars to develop systems to do this. Lots of them grew up in the time when we were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to do these things on things like TV infomercials. Now with internet television, we have the ability to do for a fraction of what it used to take, even more. So three-step process, that's all you really need to know about what it takes to duplicate the efforts or duplicate the results that some of the biggest names in the industry are doing. Now, of course, it takes time to find the right people to put the information in front of. That's also not a big mystery. Today, that's gotten easier than ever. It's also beyond the scope of this presentation for us to cover that. But just suffice to say that if you take the time to put the content together and to be willing to share some of what you know before you actually get a paycheck from, or before you actually get paid by someone, and you do that consistently and methodically, you do it in exchange for contact information, you're going to find yourself in a much better position to develop essentially what amounts to a lead generation system that's creating an asset for you every time someone joins your mailing list. Now, I want to make sure you understand that when we talk about the big names in the industries, I know a lot of us will look at them and say, well, wait a minute. I'm no Anthony Robbins. He's a big-time money guy. He has the ability to do virtually anything he could possibly want. But I'd like to share with you a thought. There are people right now who have less experience than you that are doing very well in selling content online. It's not about the household name. It's about the methodology and the process and the technology that allows you to reach the masses more quickly. Let me give you an example. I want to take the example of Vanessa Van Edwards, a young lady who created her first online course on an iPhone. Right from her living room, actually it was her kitchen if I remember her correctly, from an iPhone. And when she put that course online, she had over 25,000 students that purchased it, and each student paid $49 to access it. Now, even if they had been willing to hire her one-to-one, there's no way that she could have worked with all those people. So understand that if you really want to leverage and expand your opportunity, if you want to create scalability in your business, if you want to reach markets that you'll never travel to, then you need to understand the opportunity in online courses. Right now, this industry is absolutely exploding, and half of the online courses are being sold overseas at places that you would never travel to speak at. So if you're not creating online courses and learning how to do this the way we're proposing here, you're limiting your income opportunities, but you're also limiting the ability for you to be of service to other people who need to know what you know. So you may be surprised to know that people like Vanessa Van Edwards are not unusual. The vast majority of people that are being successful with online courses are successful early on in their careers. In fact, most of them have no previous experience in doing online courses. They have expertise with their subject matter, but their first online course is typically successful because people want to know the information and they now have a vehicle to put it in front of them. So take it for what it's worth. There's a lot of opportunity out here if you see it. You don't have to be an expert on online marketing or online courses to benefit from this wave. I want to make sure that you get to ride the wave instead of letting it come crashing down on top of you. Now, I am going to tell you right now that there has been no better time in history than there is today for you to get involved with what we're talking about here. The reason is that the technology is just making it possible for us to do so much more. I mean, think about this. Right now, you can turn on an application on your iPhone and have a dialogue with people from around the world for free. I'm not going to tell you what that technology is because we're actually developing a course where we're going to share that with you for free because it's that big of an opportunity. We want to make sure that you don't miss these things. But here's the point. You used to have to go on to an infomercial, spend $20,000 to $30,000 to have it developed, and then pay for airtime to air your infomercial to reach essentially what amounted to a more limited market. Today, from your smartphone, you can really literally reach people around the world if you chose to. And so I'm telling you, the technology today is not only powerful, it's simple to use. Even for people that consider themselves to be technologically challenged, it's easy for you to do today. So we're going to take you forward into a glimpse of what the future can look like for you. One of the people who I want to share with you comes from the survey industry, or the what is it called? What's the term? The market research industry. His name is John LaRosa, and John studies the personal development industry. And he actually found that the personal development industry by itself is over $10 billion a year. What he also found is that technology is driving the way that Americans produce, find, and obtain and use self-improvement content. Okay? Technology is driving it. Not speaking, not hotel rooms, technology is driving it. And so your opportunity arises out of your taking the time to understand how to make technology your friend. And I'm telling you right now that it's very simple to do today. Now, the key that is driving people's success with technology is having multiple distribution channels. And we see that very readily through social media. We've got all kinds of ways to reach people with text, with images, with video, with audio, all available from computers, from smartphones, and from anywhere else that people can access the internet. So understand that we're revealing the keys to you. Some of these things may have gone over your head in the past, but we're revealing to you what is working. This isn't a matter of if it'll work. This is a matter of will you do it? And if you will, we know that it works. That's why we've invested in TV and radio studios here. We know that this works. We do it for ourselves, and now we're making it possible for us to work together and do it with you. Now, one of the big benefits of taking the time to understand some of these things I'm sharing with you is that you're able to leverage your time and scale your business more effectively. As we pointed out, even if you had 25,000 people that were interested in working with you in a personal coaching capacity, you can't accommodate that many people. You can't accommodate that many people in group sessions. Even if you were speaking at events, that's a lot of people to speak in front of and then not have an ongoing relationship with them in the process. But with the advent of online courses, you can have people be getting this information on demand, on their time, on their terms, and being able to get immediate gratification instead of waiting for your next event. And with that in mind, you don't even have to be at the next event. The next event is when they click into their username and password protected area and watch the video that you created one time. Can you imagine if instead of running around going to speaking engagements every time you wanted to make money, all you had to do was send a few emails and let people buy your new course? That's the opportunity that you have here. Think about the fact that Michael Jackson didn't go and sing his songs individually to people. He created a digital download and people could get access to it anytime they wanted to listen to him sing. You need to have a strategy similar to what Michael Jackson had, or any entertainer. And it's possible for you to do that today for pennies on the dollar. You just have to be paying attention to where the opportunities exist. Now, with that in mind, I would like to now introduce you to a glimpse of the future for yourself. I would like to now introduce you to Village Connector Education. Your future as we see it is here with Village Connector Education. What I'm about to show you, as far as I know today, does not exist elsewhere. There are other people who are doing bits and pieces of what we're doing here, but as far as we have done, as far as we know, there's nobody that has put this together in the fashion that we have in an integrated marketing and monetization system. So please pay close attention to what we're about to share with you. So first and foremost, I want you to know what's behind our program. We here at Village Connector Media have over 30 years of content creation experience, 21 years of internet marketing experience, 20 years of teaching and training and coaching ourselves, working directly one-to-one with clients in group settings, and also creating online courses. So we know when we tell you this, why it is that this is a big opportunity for you, because it's the direction that we moved, and we're simply sharing that direction with you. We also are experts and possess state-of-the-art technology so that you don't have to be a technology expert. You simply need to plug in and take advantage of the infrastructure that we've built to make it possible for you to focus on teaching and training and not on becoming an expert on technology. So let's talk a little bit about what's included in the Village Connector Education Program for your benefit. First and foremost, we're going to set you up with a virtual classroom and a dedicated sales page. That means that there will be a place online for people to go and find your courses, know what you offer, and plug into your system. And that also includes the ability for you to use your system to generate leads and also paid customers. We're going to then bring you into the Village Connector TV studio and do an introductory TV interview with you. Basically an infomercial about you and your business. Now I can tell you right now, I speak from experience because back in 2004, I actually flew out to Hollywood to produce an infomercial that cost us $26,000 to produce. And then we had to buy the airtime. So I know the value of having someone be able to interview you about you and your business and to be able to then put that out on the internet for free. That's the opportunity that you have when you plug into this program. We're going to give you an opportunity to do a 3 to 5 minute promo video that will go on your sales page, and that's included in what we do for you to get you set up with this integrated system. We then do a feature article in our own online newspaper that then gets shared out to all of our social media outlets on your behalf. We feature you and spotlight you in our newsletter, our email newsletter that circulates to everyone on our mailing list, and we even send out a press release that goes to over 800 online websites and news outlets around the world. Finally, you're going to, by plugging into our program, be able to come out and be part of live speaking engagements that we record and live stream as they're happening. So instead of you're scheduling a bunch of speaking engagements yourself to try to attract leads and try to attract people to your paid content, we're going to do that on a quarterly basis for you. All you've got to do is to show up and be able to be ready to speak. If you're not local to us and you'd like to come remotely, we actually have technology that allows us to bring you into the studio remotely. So again, it doesn't matter where you are. We actually have people from all over the world that fly in to use our studio. We've got clients in Norway, in Belgium, Canada, other parts of the United States, Australia, all over the place that come here, not just because we have a recording studio, but because of the overall integrated approach that we have to marketing and monetizing educational content on behalf of personal development professionals. So that's a basic outline of what's included in our program. I'd like to now take you on a tour and show you what some of these things look like. So right now you're looking at a picture of our studio from the control room. And all of our equipment is the latest technology. These are high definition cameras, digital cameras. We have 8 of these cameras available in our studio. We have the ability to work with physical sets, virtual sets. We can virtually make this place look like anything you possibly want it to look like, depending on what it is that you're looking to produce. Now, you're looking at this right now. This is one of our sets. This is an example of me interviewing one of our members in her infomercial. And that's just one example of how the set can look. You may see this as being a familiar one. This is one of the sets that we use for the purposes of presentation style lecture formats. It's the one that I'm using today, so that'll be familiar to it. Imagine yourself in that picture, delivering your training content, recording it, and now being able to make it available for anybody to see on the internet. Now, we also have a full radio production studio. So not only can we do video, we can also do audio. So that means if you're creating narrated PowerPoints or audio CDs or maybe narrating your book or creating digital downloads that you can make available on a subscription basis, we have a professional environment from which you can create all of those things. I want to take you into our Learning Center now. As I said, we give you your own classroom and sales page. And on our main website, villageconnector.com, we start off by introducing people to you through the Learning Center. They get introduced to the Learning Center through our main website, and when they click on your image, they get taken to your landing page, your main sales page, where they can see all of your current courses. They can watch your 3 to 5 minute video intro and anything else that you would want to have on this page. They then also get into the dashboard where they can see the course that you have, get the details for a particular course that they've chosen, and then click the link to buy that course from you. If the course is set up as a free course, then they can get on your mailing list to be able to access the free course, and that makes them part of your lead generation system that we help you to set up. Now again, you're looking right now at the page where they can literally buy it right now after watching your 3 to 5 minute promo. So this is a systematic approach to putting yourself in a position to feature your content. Once they've bought your course, whether it's a free course or a paid course, they get a chance to see the syllabus, the course structure, how many lessons there are, the topics, it's the table of contents. And they get excited to be walked step by step through what it is they need to know that you have the ability to help them with. Now, as I told you before, this is an integrated monetization and marketing system. What we do once you've created your course or courses is we market those courses for you. We invest in our own infrastructure, our own marketing infrastructure, which includes internet, television, and radio, live streamed events, targeted ad buys that we do, focusing specifically on people who have already indicated an interest in social and personal development and the topics that you speak on. We do social media marketing and email marketing. We also have alliances with other influencers in the industry that get us access to the people who are looking for you. There's strength in numbers here, so that's one of the reasons we can make this available to you in a way that's so integrated and turnkey, is because we're able to do this on behalf of all of our teachers instead of everyone doing it individually solely on their own behalf. Now there's nothing wrong with that. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but it's one of those things where if you don't have experience with it, this is the better way for you to go until you can develop experience with creating your own marketing system. We also conduct contests and giveaways that incentivize people to join our community, where we can then introduce them to you. And again, we continue to expand our marketing process as new opportunities emerge. That's one of the things that we specialize in, is staying on the cutting edge of new opportunities and making sure that we are part of them and we're putting them to work for you and for our other members. Now, with that in mind, we talked earlier about the fact that in addition to the fact that we're going to give you a chance to have your own online courses and we're going to market those for you, we're also going to write a story about you. That supplements the infomercial that we do about you. We're basically practicing what we preach here by giving people online an opportunity to consume your story in the fashion that suits them best. Some people will like to watch the video, some people will like to read the story, some people may do both, so we give them that opportunity. We also then, as we talked about earlier, give you the opportunity to come and speak at live streamed events. Those live streamed events are always recorded for playback, but it's fun to be part of a live event, both for the audience and for you. And with that in mind, you have that opportunity without putting a lot of effort into it. Again, if you can show up and present, we'll take care of the rest. Now, there's always more, and I would like to talk with you a little bit about the more. Right now, if all you did was plug into our system the way I just described it, you would have a way to market and monetize your online courses. But we're going to take it a step further because we want to make sure that you are able to pull out all the stops. Now, we're not suggesting you have to stop everything you're doing and do this right now, but some of these things that we're going to teach you are going to make it possible for you to generate your own leads through your own lead generation system. So here's how this works. We've developed a teacher's lounge where we're literally teaching you how to create your own content. I saw a course today that charges $27 a month to teach you how to create your own courses, how to create your own infrastructure for marketing, how to create lead generation systems, and then of course, how to put all of that on the internet. We include that in your program with us. And again, even if you choose not to do these things, we're also marketing for you. So it buys you the time of being able to get used to what it would take for you to have your own separate marketing system in place and run those on parallel tracks. Now, keep in mind that there are always going to be new and emerging marketing activities, opportunities. And that's important to keep in the forefront of your mind, because Most of us as public speakers and trainers and coaches, we're focused on our industry and not necessarily on how to market our industry. With that in mind, that's our business. We're going to be making sure we stay on top of technology at all times to make sure that you get the benefit of knowing about things first. There are technologies right now that are just going to absolutely flat out amaze you if you don't already know about them, but you're going to be hearing about them very soon. That's our job, to make sure that you stay on the cutting edge of that. And for those purposes, this course, this Teacher's Lounge, is going to be continuously updated to make sure that you always have the most current information. State-of-the-art, up-to-date, emerging technologies, all made available to you in a way that you can understand without being a technology buff. Now, I encourage you to do two things. Number one, I want you to think very carefully about what we just shared with you and the opportunity that you have here with us. Number two, I want you to consciously go out and look around and see what else is out there. Because I said before, I am not aware that there's another system like this available anywhere. There are bits and pieces of it, but nobody that I'm aware of has created a TV and radio studio from which you can produce your content and then put it online to be found by students, and then also market it for you, all in one integrated system that also markets the rest of your speaking business, your training business, and everything else that you do. So if you find something like that does all those things the way you just saw in this presentation, I'd like you to personally call me and let me know, because I haven't seen it. That's why we created it, and that's why we're making it available to you. Now, I want to encourage you right now to make one final step. You're probably watching this video from a special page, special webinar page that allows you to watch this on demand. You didn't even have to give up your information or anything like that to see this. It was too important for us to make you put in your information to see it. So we wanted you to see it first. Now that you've seen it, we want to encourage you to do two things. Number one, look at the rest of the information on the page, because we have several membership options that are available to you if you've enjoyed what you've seen here and see an opportunity for you to work with us. So take a look at those membership options, and then I want you to either give us a call at the number you've seen on the screen, 800-306-6488 extension 1. 800-306-6488 extension 1. If you're watching this video from one of the pages where the membership information is available, then fill in the form on that page with your name and your telephone number, and we'll call you to answer your questions and to explore with you whether the membership in Village Connector Education would make sense in your business. So you're probably watching this, as I said, primarily from a page where there's a place for you to fill in the form. Go ahead and fill that form in right now while you're watching the conclusion of this video, and let us have a dialogue with you to make sure you don't miss an opportunity. If you're not watching from one of the pages where you can fill in the form, if you're just watching this video on YouTube or someplace else, then all you have to do is pick up the phone and call 800-306-6488 extension 1, or go to villageconnector.com/for speakers only. villageconnector.com/for speakers only. That's a page that you can get all this information I was just describing if the page wasn't sent to you on the front end from whoever it is that wanted to share this with you. So, you now have had an opportunity to take a glimpse at the future of personal development. If you'd like to participate in that future, if you'd like for it to be part of your future, I'm encouraging you to reach out to us right now and give us an opportunity to share some more information, get your questions answered, and together to explore whether Village Connector Education can make a difference in what you're trying to create in your business. On behalf of Village Connector Education and our whole team, my name is Glenn Garnes, and I want to thank you for joining us for this very important presentation.